What is up, everybody, and welcome back. As you may notice, we are back in my apartment, but we're not going to let that stop us from putting out yet another great video. Today's video is going to be pretty simple in honor of a very simple deck that we're going to be reviewing, something that I really believe embodies everything I love about minimalistic design. Today, we're going to talk about the Magic Notebook playing cards by Bacopo Playing Card Company. Intro? Intro? Yeah, we got to roll that intro.
Let's go.
So the Magic Notebook playing cards by Bacopo Playing Card Company. These cards are distributed from, I believe, Taiwan or Japan, maybe. I think Taiwan, but they are printed by the United States Playing Card Company on a casino grade stock. So they're a little bit thicker, which I like. These cards are meant to be kind of a homage or tribute to Dai Vernon, aka the Professor, one of the great card magicians of all time. The front of the tuck case just has this kind of white border, double border, with a quote from Dai Vernon that says, "Be natural. What I mean by this is be yourself." Super advice. The bottom of the tuck case has some ad copy. No, it was Japan. Nothing on this side. Top says Magician Super Ning. The other side says Spring Series 2016 Limited Magic Notebook. On the back, you do get the Ning logo. And 2016, the Bacopo Playing Card Company Limited. By the way, these cards do come in a variety of colors. They come in pink. You can get them in black. You can get them in like a champagne yellow, I think is what they call it. You can get them in orange. You can get them in a very light blue. You can also get them in like a mint green, which I'll also show you. And I believe there's also a white edition and a red edition. Definitely a variety of colors when you pick up this deck. As well, it was pretty cheap. We'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to my high and low points. You can see the inside of the flap is blank. Nothing on the inside of the cards. All right, now when you get this deck, you are going to get two jokers. It's going to be the Bacopo Playing Card Company logo. You're going to get one in red and one in blue. Other than the Bacopo logo, you do get the Bacopo Playing Card Company stamped below. The only other custom card you're going to get with this deck is the Ace of Spades, which just has a blown up spade pip. That matches the color of the back design, which I'll show you in just a second. Even the Ace of Spades being the only custom card is very, very simple, so I'm a huge fan of that. You are not going to get any gaff cards with this deck. You are going to get two ad cards. One of them is written in Japanese, the other one is written in English, but it's just information about Bacopo Playing Card Company. The rest of your faces are going to be completely standard. You can see standard bicycle courts, standard pips and indices. Everything is the same as you would find it on a bicycle deck. There's not even any color customization on the court cards. All right, let's look at the back design. So the back design is a pretty thin white border, which I'm a fan of. I do like thin borders. You can see there is this kind of darker pink magenta micro border and this huge field of just bubblegum pink. This is actually the same exact pink that we have on the Chalkbox V1 deck. Different stock and finish, but the exact same shade of pink. Now, as I mentioned, these cards are on a casino stock. It's a little bit thicker than bicycles and a little bit thinner than like a B stock. But it is somewhere in between. Definitely thicker than bicycles, which I'm a fan of. Actually, I like a thick stock. As long as the finish is good, as long as the cards aren't too stiff, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a thick stock. It just means that you got to break them in a little bit more, but once you do, the cards are probably going to last you a hell of a lot longer. These are the pink ones. I also have the green ones. They say green, they're more of like a mint color, but I'll show you those right now. The tuck case for the mint color or green color is the exact same. It's just instead of pink, it's been matched to match the cards. So it's kind of, you can see this mint color. Almost the same color as the peelers that I just reviewed earlier this week, but not as faded. The peelers are more of a faded color. These ones are not. I can't believe I know this, but it's almost like Tiffany blue. If you know that jewelry store Tiffany's, it's kind of that same type of turquoise blue. And these are what the mint cards look like. Now, these are very, very nice. I love this color, and I love the contrast with the blue micro border. It kind of looks like, if you remember the Knox signature series from Expert, it kind of looks like that. Like they had like the Laurel London one that was red with the black outline, or the Snow Leopard ones, it was like that cream color with the black outline, kind of like that. So creates a really, really nice contrast. This is a fairly light colored card back, so I think adding that blue in there just really, really makes it pop. Now everything as far as the faces of these are the same as the pink ones. The only difference is the ace of spades. Instead of a pink pip, you get that mint green. I think I might actually prefer this one to the pink one, which is a surprise for me because pink playing cards are kind of my thing, and they grow on you for sure. I really like them. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking about how much these cards remind you of Knox. Some pretty big differences. Number one being the overall stock and finish of the cards. These are thicker than the Knox. Also, if we're talking about the Knox originals that are printed with USPCC, those cards have a little bit thicker of a border, and as well, they come with some gaffs, which is really good, but they also don't have the micro border outline for contrast. Hard to say which one I prefer. I really do like the color of these. I do have the pink Knox, but the pink on the pink Knox is way, way too light. That's your overview of the deck, but now what we're going to talk about is my high points, my low points, my favorite part of the deck, and of course, overall, is it worth your money? We'll talk about that now. The high points that I have for this deck, there are a couple. This is a pretty good deck. Number one has got to be the design of the cards. I don't need to say it again, but I will. I'm a huge fan of minimalistic back designs for cards. Understated cards are the way to go, in my opinion. That doesn't mean I only like cards that look like this. As you know, I'm also a huge fan of like the Rounders, the SWE deck. I love the Knox. I love anything that looks standard, that represents that minimalistic look. It just makes it so clean and so nice to perform with. You have such an unsuspecting deck. I also have to say I love the colors. So I only own the mint color and the pink one, but I have seen the champagne yellow one. They do come in some really interesting colors, things that you might not have seen until these decks were printed. All right, so another high point that I have, obviously standard faces. And my other high point is the price. So these cards are cheap. I think they are about $7.50, maybe $8. It seems like they will last you a long time. I've barely used these. For $8 to get a still custom deck of cards, as far as the back design goes, but one that you can perform with and presumably use over and over, you can't really beat that. So let's talk about some low points. The first thing I notice as far as low points is the handling of these cards is a little bit weird. I don't know if it's the finish or I don't know if it's just the stock. I'm not really sure what it is, but the cards do handle a little bit, just not so much to my liking. I definitely like USPCC cards. These cards don't really feel, it's hard to give you an example of what they feel like. They definitely don't feel broken in when you get them out of the box. They're very rough on the sides at first. And then even after you break them in, they're just a little stiff, I guess. I think I've played with these ones for like the equivalent of 1 hour. They don't hold their fan very well. Not a huge deal as far as the fanning goes or the spreading. But that just kind of is an example to show you that they do feel just a little bit weird. Overall, kind of, I don't know, not crazy about it. Really, the only other low point that I have is this deck didn't come with any gaff cards. So I think it'd be really, really interesting to see maybe a multicolored double backer, like mint on one side and pink on the other, or blue or one of the other colors, or a double backer and even a blank card. I just think it'd be good to have some gaff cards in here. Presumably these cards were made for the working magician. You could tell just by the standard faces, and they stamped Di Vernon's name on it, who was one of the greatest card magicians of all time. And now, as far as my favorite part of this deck, I would have to go with the design. If these cards were on a different stock, like if they were on maybe like an expert stock, like the old Knox, or even if they were just on a regular, like crushed bicycle stock that most cards are. I love the colors that they come in. I love that they're pretty cheap. That alone makes these cards worth owning. That, and it's all a matter of taste, right? So what doesn't work for me might work perfectly for you. It's definitely hard to say, so. And the final question, is it worth your monies? The only thing I can really say is you're not spending that much money on a deck of these cards. So I would say maybe see which color is your favorite and spend the $8 to pick up a deck and see if you like it. And if you do like it, then yeah, I mean, they're cheap. You could pick up pretty much every single color that they make in these. I think there's 8 colors total. All right, I'm gonna show you a quick magic trick using the Bacopo Magic Notebook playing cards. Here we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have the spectator reach in and pick a card. Let's say in this case it is this one, the 8 of clubs. Okay, we're going to take the 8 of clubs. We are going to cut it into the middle, about middle. No one knows for sure. Then we're going to make a magical gesture like snapping our fingers. Now when we do that, you'll actually notice one card changes from green to pink. And it was the spectator's card, the 8 of clubs. Pretty insane, right? But let's prove. So we're going to go ahead and set the pink card here in plain sight. And we're going to have the spectator pick a card again by just having them call stop whenever they want. Let's say right here, the Jack of Hearts. We're going to go ahead and wave the deck or make our magical gesture and look for a pink card. This is really embarrassing. You know what? We can fix it. That pink card has been there the whole time. The Jack of Hearts. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed my review of the Magic Notebook playing cards by Bacopo Playing Card Company. If you're interested in picking up a deck of these for yourselves, I would highly recommend it, and I'll link a few places you can find them in the description below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below of what deck you'd like me to review just for you. Later.